One question that we're going to be asking ourselves in 1.2 is whether a graph represents a function. For this particular example, I don't have graphs, but I have equations that we could turn into graphs. So you could put this in your graphing calculator and check it out. But I would like you to know how to determine if it's a function based on just the equation. So here's a simple rule for this. Look for plus minus in the problem. If it has plus minus once you have something solved for y, then it is not a function. So if I look at these four examples that I have here, one right off the bat sticks out, and that's this one here because it's got the plus and minus already in the equation. That is not a function. And so I'm going to just note that right away. It has a plus minus in it. Now the other ones, none of them have plus minus, but we have to be looking at the equation from the right perspective. So in order to look at the right perspective, we actually have to solve each one of these for y before we make the observation about the plus minus. Now this one's already solved for y. It doesn't have a plus minus in it, so we can say confidently that that is a function. So I'm just going to say yes on this one right away. This one right here, not quite as close to what we want yet, but we can easily move y over to the other side, move the x over here. If we do that, we change the appearance of this equation. It ends up being y equals x squared plus 3x if we make the right moves. And now that y is isolated, we have no plus and minuses in there, I can now say, yes, this is a function also. Number 3 is not solved for a y, but we can do that. Remember, to undo a square, we can take the square root. So we take the square root of both sides, and what that gives us is square root of x equals y, because the square and the square root undid each other. But if you remember back from chapter P, when you take the square root of something in the process of solving an equation, you do have to worry about the plus minus. So we introduce the square root, we have to have that plus minus, and since it had a plus minus, this one is going to be a no. So we got to solve for y, see if there's a plus minus in there. If there's a plus minus, it's not a function. If we see something like these where it's just a normal looking equation, then we can say that it is a function.